And I'm out of sight, out of mind. Nobody thinks about me.
That's all good. Okay, we are live. So let the countdown go. It'll be a little video thing, and then we'll be heard.
Well, it looks like there's 9 people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll help.
All right. Hello, everybody. Let me get on camera. Hey, Ken. How are you, buddy?
Hey!
Wow. So I've heard from you because we've talked on the phone, but nobody else has heard from Ken at Ken Knows Gambling in a long time. Right? You went dark a little bit there.
Well, I still talk to Waylon. I'll still talk to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not that I went dark. It's just I got sick of it. I mean, like I said in the video that I did, and you had mentioned it today, not this word, but we're all putting freaking different shades of lipstick on the same fucking pig.
We are.
So, there's so many great videos out there, but like guys like you, Jeff, that like this show,
Yeah.
it's different,
It's different.
but that I can't do.
Like, here's the thing. I love craps a lot, right? And I love playing the game, and I love teaching too. But you can't only do so much of that. And like we said earlier, there's only like 4 or 5 ways you can play. When you break it all down, there ain't a lot of ways you can play this thing besides the basics, right? So I'm like, what do we do on this channel to have some fun? And this feels like a trip around the craps table. Like when you're at the table with actual people just bullshitting. That's what I wanted this show to kind of be. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to shoot from all 6 spots on the table. I'm going to shoot from back here, straight out, from this hook position. I'm going to come over here by the stick man and shoot from over here. And each time I switch spots, I'm going to take a shot. And actually, just so you know, tonight, my drink of choice tonight, by the way, for each spot is this. I'm rocking the Swear Jar Black, which is $20. This shit is so good. The Canadian whiskey, I love this stuff. And because it's you, I'm bringing it all class, man. I'm drinking my whiskey out of a Ken Knows Gambling coffee cup tonight. So that's what's going to happen, right? See, I'm gonna represent all the way through, and I'm going to pour right now. So, and just so folks know, I've got a Crapsee table going. So if you want to play along in Crapsee, the code is down below. I will probably play along, but really I'm just here to shoot. So I'm going to get started shooting here, and as I shoot, folks in the audience can ask a question if you want to. I've got some questions queued up from before. So if you want to ask a question of Ken, I can play that through. Just what I want you to do is in the chat, put a Q, colon, and then your question. And then I will filter my chats so all I see is the questions that come through. And that way, if you have a question that's better than what I had planned, I'll put your question up there and that'll be it, right? But in the meantime, let's say hi to some people. Right, let's say hi. Who's here tonight? We have, obviously I'm here. Jaime Garcia is here, which is awesome. He says, can I ask a horse racing question? No. We are talking about randomness tonight. All sorts of crazy, everything but gambling. I just want to play around the table and have fun. Victor's here.
I got my Brian hat on.
Oh, there you go.
All signed.
That's awesome. That was what a cool prize that was from the first auction,
yeah,
right? That was great. Yep.
And he even did the video of everybody signing it.
Yeah, cool. That's so cool. That's so cool. He's such a great guy. Let's see, Anthony's here. He's going to save his question. Who else is here? Anthony, we got Arcades. Our new friend Arcades is here. My good friend Ian Olson from down the street is here. And of course, Dice DGen. Love you, Chris. Michael Blocker is here. Michael Blocker made me a lot of money a few weeks back. Right, doing so good, shooting really good. James Newberry, our friend from the East Coast, is here. James is a dark side player. I'm not sure if you know him, Ken, but James is a great guy. Great guy.
He was on. He would come on my lives. James would.
James is James like you. He's a keep it simple, stupid guy, right? Don't overcomplicate things. Don't make it so crazy. Just do the deal, right? All right, here we go. Oh, there's such a good question. I love that Ken can't see the questions. Don't look at the YouTube. Here we go. I'm gonna get started, guys. The Crapsee code is on screen. Let me switch to the view where you can see me. I think that's gonna be this view here. Yeah, and this should be, that's the wrong view. Hold on a second, I got the wrong view. Let me go change it to this. I gotta make sure I got the right cameras showing. There we go. Now I'm down here. The dice are gonna land down there, I hope. Let me get this off the table because it's in the way. And let's do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna get the dice set up. Crapsee's going. If you wanna bet, get your bets in quickly. And it's gonna roll. Ken, I'm gonna start you off easy tonight. We're gonna take an easy swing into this thing, okay?
All right.
People don't know how I met you. And I met you because you had a channel out, and it was Crapsee, of course, at first, but really what got me into it, into the whole Ken thing, was the fact that you were doing some sports betting stuff. And I told you, admittedly, I know jack squat about sports betting. Like, I know all the words, right? But I've never placed a sports bet in my life for two reasons. One is I grew up in New Jersey where you can't do it. Two, I live in Washington where you can't do it. And three, I'm too much of a fanboy to do it. I bet with my heart. I bet against teams I hate, bet for teams I love. I get a feeling about a game. I mean, that's what I'm doing. So I know I'm gonna get my ass kicked. And that's why when I saw your channel, I'm like, dude, this guy knows how to sports bet. He's giving great advice. So my question to start things off is this. If you were to go to, and here's my come out roll, by the way. If you were to go to any sporting event, first of all, there's a 6'5" yo, and we're playing crapless craps tonight, by the way. So it's a 6'5" yo is the point, which really sucks. God love crapless craps. First of all, what sporting event would you go to is the first part of the question. And the second part of the question is going to be, if you had box seats to that event, who would you want to sit with? What sports person would you want to sit with? And let's talk about why.
Well, I tell you what, that's tough because I don't like going to live events, just in
Really?
general. No, I do not. And it's because the seating is so crowded. I
Well,
went
you got to. I'm giving you box seats. I'm giving you a box. I'm giving you like next to Taylor
if you're
Swift.
gonna give me a box,
It's a box.
that's the only way. That's the only way
Yeah.
that I would go.
There's a hard
with a
six, by the
box.
way. It's you and and the person you want to sit with in your own private box. Food, drink, all that shit. You get to watch the game as you please. Who is it? And where? What? It could be a basic old baseball game, but where are you going and who are you sitting with?
Well, I tell you where I'd go. This will freak you guys out, but if I had box seats, I'd go see a hockey game.
Yes, sir. Okay. I did not peg you for a hockey player or a hockey person.
I'm not, but my brother, I used to watch it on TV, but he says, Kenny, you have to go live to a hockey game so you can understand the
Oh,
speed and all the line changes that you don't get to see on TV and everything
yeah.
they're trying to do.
That's a
But he
5,
goes,
4,
you
1.
got to go live. And then when you go live, then you can tell me, because I used to say, fuck hockey. I hate hockey.
Mm-hmm.
But he lived in Colorado, went to the Avalanche.
Yeah.
And so I promised him. So Tennessee had the Predators, and my ex-wife had a First Tennessee box.
Yeah.
She worked for First Tennessee. Son, the excitement, the horns, and then I liked it, but I don't like watching it on TV still to this day. But so to
Hockey
answer your
sucks on TV.
question, yeah, I would go live in a box to a hockey game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a playoff, maybe it's for the Stanley Cup, whatever.
Sure.
And the person that I would take is, in fact, my brother.
There you go. Hockey is my all-time favorite sport, by the way. You may or may not have known that about me. But I played hockey all my life growing up in Jersey. Huge Flyers fan. I've been to a million hockey games. Out here, I coached hockey, coached my son in hockey. I love hockey, but you're right. In person, whole different game.
Well, that's what
Whole
I
different
found.
game. Yeah, it's a whole different game. There's so many things that you can't see on TV. Whereas football, also, I think is a kind of a made-for-TV sport, but it's such a different experience live. You know, I hate football live. Kind of sucks actually. I've been rough like it. You know.
I got the Houston Astros down here.
Oh yeah.
Um, what happened to my
You locking up a little bit there?
phone? Because I'm frozen.
Oh, you're back.
I'm Am I back?
You're back. I got you. Yep.
Oh, there I am.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So
Um,
here come the dice, by
what
the
the
way.
hell
So
was I gonna say about that?
you're talking about the Astros.
Oh, yeah, so me and my brother, we went to some Astro games, and
Oh, there's the
that
7.
stadium is actually pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, I don't like $20 fucking beers,
Yeah.
$10 Cokes,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's legal price gouging.
It's brutal.
Down
Just
here
the,
when we had our flood down here and people were trying to sell a case of water for 50 bucks and the news was on their ass, price gouging, and they were getting into them people. But when you go to a football game or one of those, it's price gouging.
yeah, the bottle of
It's
water is 15
allowed.
bucks. Bottles of water are ridiculous, but
Oh,
yeah.
fuck that.
But you're taking your
I,
brother. What is the reason for taking your brother? Are you guys close? You have things you want to talk
yeah.
to in private? Like what's going on there?
Well, there's a backstory to me and my brother. And if we have time, I'll give you this little
Go
backstory.
for it. Yeah, go. We have guys. By the way, I 7'd out. Guys are going to reset their bets, and I'm going to switch spots here while you're talking. So go ahead.
So when teenagers, now you got to understand, when I was 17 years old, I was 310 pounds.
Whew.
Okay. 6'1", 310. I just didn't realize how big I was. Right.
Hmm.
Well, my brother was like 6'2", but about a buck 70. And big brother picking on little brother my whole life. Right. Well, one day I had enough, okay? And he was within range, man, and I swung with everything I had at that chin. But he ducked. He did a Muhammad Ali, and I just grazed it. And my brain said, "Uh-oh, I could be in trouble."
Yeah.
But I followed it with a left, knocked him back. So what did I do? I used 310 pounds, and I just bared him to the couch. And I pressed his face into the couch like I was going to smother him.
Hmm.
And I said these words, "I'm going to kill you,"
Hmm.
and meant it, right? But as soon as I said that, I realized what was happening and what I just said. So I got off of him and I ran out with my buddy. I just took off. Well, he's coming after me, and I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. Let's just call it. But actually, when he got up there, he's crying, I'm crying, we hug each other. And my dad said he said this because he had a brother that died. He says, brothers are never like this. Brothers should be like this. You
Mm-hmm.
guys watch out for each other. Don't be this, be this. And after that, that was it. Our relationship just went to a brand new level. I love my brother. He's a geek, not like you,
Nothing wrong with
but
geeks, man.
I love you. So my
Yeah.
brother's the one that got me to the hockey,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't spend a lot of time with my brother, even though he's 15 minutes down the road. Um, so, and I wouldn't take a star. Just so you guys know, I don't know if some of you guys, John, you might. I work for Hank Williams Jr.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff. Okay, those stars. You know, all your stars, they're egomaniacs. I fucking
Yeah.
can't stand them. All the writers they have in there. Oh, I have to have all the brown M&Ms taken out,
Sure. Yeah.
and I've
God.
got to have this type of one. You suck my weenie or I won't play, right? Type of thing. They're all assholes. I've been around tons of them. Well, to have one of them sit with me, no,
There you go.
not me.
Take the fan. I love that. I love that answer, Ken. I love it. All right, I'm moving on. I'm on a different spot. I 7 down. You ready for your next question?
Yeah.
Good one here. This comes from, actually, it just came in live. It comes from Michael Blocker. He says, where is one point of history, if you could pick any point in history at all, that you can go back and be a witness to? What would it be and why? And here comes, I'm going to be dice her out while you mull that one over. Here we go. Coming out.
Well,
You got us a 5, 415.
to witness,
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably go back to the 3 crosses.
There you go. Okay.
Witness, you know, that era of the death and resurrection of Christ, um, and be the advocate for him rather than kill him.
Can you imagine?
Um,
Can you imagine what that would have been like back then? Like, here's the thing: we're in a pretty bad place right now, right? I would agree. Not like this country's in a pretty bad place as far as being divided,
yeah,
right? I don't think we're even as divided as they were back then. Like, think about how the Jews and the Romans were, and when he came along to be the uniter, how divided that part of the world was at that time. And the Egyptians also were doing their thing, right? Here we go. We're dice her out. What do you think that would have been like? Can you imagine? Like, I mean, we've had calls for like big protests to call for people to die here, but not like that. Did you lock up? We might have lost him. We lock him up. It's a 639, by the way. Looks like Ken is frozen. Hopefully he can hear it. 639. I'm still alive. I think I'm still alive, right? Let's see here. Move the mouse and see. Looks like we are still live. We got 20 of you all watching, but Ken seems to be locked. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I will keep shooting, and I'll talk through this. My thoughts on that as well. So Ken wants to go back into Bible times and watch the crucifixion and the resurrection, which I think is pretty cool. We'll talk about more religion stuff with Ken here when he comes back to us. But for me, I got to think about this question a little bit because I don't know if it's a thing that I want to see to prove something or a thing that I want to see because it was such a big moment. You know what I mean? And there's a part of me that wants to be like in the room. Did I put that 9 in? I think I did. Hold on, let me see what I did here. I did not. Hold on, let me put that 9 in there. Hold on. Got to think about this. I wonder if I want to go see like the first, like at the moon. I want to say like the moon landing, like something impactful or something like when the Declaration was signed. Like be back in those times and be part of some of those events. And that'd be kind of a cool thing to go back and watch. I don't know. I studied history pretty extensively in high school. Ken is out. He's going to hopefully come back and join us here in a minute. It looks like his connection quit on him. Hopefully come back. But I loved history all growing up, and I studied all the wars. So the thing that I was into, here's the dice, by the way. I studied history of war. In high school, I took 2 classes in it, and I minored that my 2 years that I went to college. We have a 415 here. So any event like that, like seeing the Declaration signed, seeing the Boston Tea Party when it happened, seeing the end of the Civil War, being around, like I can imagine being in the room. Imagine being in the room when they made the decision to drop the bombs on Hiroshima. Imagine that. Imagine what that would have been like to have been part of that whole thing. So I think about that kind of stuff, and it's like sometimes being witness to greatness, sometimes being witness to the enormity of a situation. Like I think about that. I think about what it would have been like to be in the Oval Office when they were having those discussions about what do we do to end this world war. And there's a 6 of 426. That kind of stuff is what really kind of I don't know if it's super interesting or if it's like just to feel the tension. And I think Ken's got a cool point there about going to watch the crucifixion, because that could certainly be a thing where the weight of that, the weight of the moment, and what would you do in the moment? I guess that's the thing. It's like, hang on one second, because hindsight's 2020, right? And I think in this case, we're talking about being a fly on the wall. Dice are out. And get your bets in quick, guys. You got to get your bets in as fast as you can so I can keep the thing going. But being a fly on the wall to the resurrection, not being a part of it versus being a part of it. Think about that. There's the 7 that ends that roll. It's another 5 roller, it looks like. Let's see, it's a 6-1. Come on now. 6-1-7, that'll end that roll. But to watch that thing happen and not be able to interact with it would be one thing. To be there during it and being a part of the whole thing that's going on would be a whole different experience. You know, I don't know, man. God, it's such a great, thoughtful question. And Ken's answer to that is freaking perfect, because what would you do? Right? Where would you be? Would you be part of because again, we have hindsight. We know what Jesus stood for now, right? In those moments, where would you have landed? You know, where would you have landed? You know, and in today's world, what he did then, who is he in today's world? Like who is he? Which I don't know. Very interesting stuff. All right, here we go. We're going to move on. I don't know if Ken's coming back, so I'm going to go ahead and take the next question. Keep on shooting. We'll see what happens here. Okay, let's go to the chats and see what the next question is while I shoot. I'm coming out here from Stick Right One now. I've done 2 things. Let's see. Jaime Garcia, I'm talking about hockey because it's the sport itself, not hockey gambling. So that's the reason why I didn't take the gambling question. But yeah, horses. I know nothing about horses. my daughter was kind of a horse person. Let's see. Here comes Ken's calling me, but I can't answer the phone. So yeah, I can't. My phone is the camera, so I can't answer it. I'm going to try and give me a minute here. I'm going to try and send him a text from my iPad. Let's see, Ken. I can't. Oh, this is live TV at its best, right? I can't answer the phone. It's the camera. Can you rejoin? I'm just writing him a text here. I can text from the iPad. We'll see if he can get in. But yeah, if he can't get in, we'll figure it out ourselves. So let's see. The next question I'm going to ask here is this. Let's see. We have what's my favorite alien theory and why? I have my own alien theory that we can talk through. Ian wants to know who my kitchen pass is. My hall pass. That's interesting. I've got 2 of those. Wow, interesting. 2 good questions there. I hope Ken can join. I'd love for Ken to come in and join here. So what we'll do is this. I'm going to shoot from here. I'll talk about my hall pass if you want to, while I have a quick sip here, and then I'll come out. And again, if you're playing along with Crapsee, get those bets in and press the button so I know that I can shoot. There's only a couple of you playing, but let's make sure we have our bets in. Here we go. Coming out from the right side here. Stick right one. Crapless table. Here we go. There's a 5-2 come out 7, which is cool. Let's see here. 5-2-7. Maybe Ken's not coming back. That's a bummer if we can't get this technology to work, right? We put that where you can see it. There's a 5 and a 2. You can see those dice, right? When I pull them up. Come on. Crapsee's locked up. Boy, everything is a mess right now. Crapsee's locked up. Hold on. Hang on a second. Give me a second here, folks. Ken can get in, but he's lost the login ID for it, so hold on a second. Let's get this going here. I'm going to come back to here, so it's going to be it's GEST guest spot dot live. then slash. Let me give. I got to give him the code here to get in so we can see it. It's 1ED. 1ED 8382. I think that's right. Hold on 1 second. 78382. 783. Sorry. 1ED 73882. Okay, he'll be back. He'll be on in a minute. I guess his computer had a reboot or something. So 78382. Damn it, I did it wrong again. 78382. All right, we'll let Ken come in here. While I'm shooting, I'll answer this question first, and then I'll let him answer the real question that we've got queued up for him. But the hall pass question is kind of funny. Everybody's got a hall pass. That's what we call it here. I've got 2 that I'm permitted. One actually lives down there by Ken. It is Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock is the number 1. Always has been. There is a 426. Here comes Ken back. Here comes Ken. Is he back? There he is. Ken might actually know the answer, know this person for me. The question, by the way, I don't know, man. You got froze up. We were talking about Jesus and all that stuff, and then we got cut off. So I'm going to finish my thoughts. I actually 7'd out while you were gone, and we're on the new question here. But you said you wanted to go back and watch the crucifixion, and I was asking, like, the follow up to that is like, would you want to be witness to it or be a part of it, which is kind of a different thing. And then I think the spirit of the question was, what do you want to go back and watch? Like, do you want to, and it, like sitting off the side, watching what happens and going, oh my God, that's what's happening, or being down there when it's going on and like being a part of it and experiencing it. And I wondered,
being down with the people. I mean, where you're really close, where you're watching what's going on.
Yeah.
And to hear the thief on the cross go, when your kingdom comes, remember me. And Christ says, hey, I assure you this day you'll be with me in paradise. Oh my God, man.
Yep. To hear the word spoken. Yeah. I hear you there. I was saying the same thing. Like my moment was, let's go back into like the Oval Office, the day they decided to drop the bombs. Like, to feel the weight of a huge moment, like to feel the pressure, the tension of all that, and like not knowing the moment Jesus says that's what that's just got said. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't be ready for it. Like, now you, like, in hindsight, you know, but there in the moment you don't know. You know what I mean? And it's just so interesting.
We got a delay. Sorry.
That's all right.
The bomb that dropped that first bomb, there's a recording of him, and he's like, oh my God, what have we done?
What have we done? Yeah. Can you think about, God, the weight of that decision? Like, holy crap. You know what I mean? So here I am shooting. And by the way, the next question, I'm going to move on here because I'm shooting. The next question is, who's your hall pass? So mine, you might know mine. Mine lives by you. My number 1 hall pass is Sandra Bullock. She's down there in not San Antonio. She's in Austin. And my number 2 is Melissa McCarthy. Those are my 2. Who was yours?
My brain don't even fucking work that way. I have to take a second.
Fuck, it's 527 so fast. Damn, that was a PSO right there. Too much talking, not enough shooting.
I'm not copping out because my wife ain't watching this.
Yeah.
And she won't. But I'm not copping out. Don't want a hall pass.
Sure. I hear you, but
I don't.
Everybody's got that person that they're watching and going, oh yeah. I'm putting the gun to your head right now. Yes. The gun is to your head. Who is your hall? And who would your wife let you have the hall pass with? That's the thing, right?
Yeah, but can the person be from time ago?
Whenever you want. Anything you want.
All right. When she was hot. and not old. Barbie Benton.
Okay. Okay. That is going way back. You're digging way back in the time machine.
Oh boy.
Wow. Barbie Benton, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you
Did
put
you
a
have a
gun in my head,
do you have a poster of Barbie Benton in your room when you were a kid?
back in the day,
Yeah.
I used to have when I was 17, I don't know how I got to subscribe to Playboy,
That is it.
but I
862.
did. And I'll be honest with you, everybody goes, "Oh, it's because of the articles," and you go, "Oh, that's horseshit."
That is horseshit.
Really and truly, some of the articles were really good, but
Yeah.
I also took all the pinups and I wallpapered my whole damn
There you
bedroom with
go.
it.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. No, Barbie Benton. Wow. Yeah. No, mine's always been Sandra Bullock. Since Speed came out, I was like, that's the one. And I keep saying,
Oh, she
my
ain't got big enough tits.
I don't care about that. It's something about like, and like I said, my second one is Melissa McCarthy. I love Melissa McCarthy. Like both of them feel like she was on Mike and Molly. She's been in a ton of movies. She's short, heavy,
The
set guy.
fat one?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's your hall pass?
Love her. Love her. She is, I
Dude.
think, I know. I think she would be so much fun to just be with. Like she just seems like my person. Both of them seem like my
Well, I
person. And that's,
Everybody has their,
they do. They do. They're, oh, aces. Who's playing crapless craps and making money on my aces right here? Look at that. That pays like $1 million to 1 on a crapless table. Something like that. Pays a lot. All right. So here we are at this. Now I'm gonna ask you the real question from over here. So that was kind of a fun little deep dive there. Let's see. That was.
But remember what I said first.
Mhm.
I wouldn't take a hall pass.
Oh, I know. That's.
My wife is all I fucking need. I don't need any hall
Yep.
pass.
No, I hear you. Nope, I hear you. My wife's got a couple too, and we joke about it. My wife, by the way, you'll love this, Ken. What do you think my wife's a question for you? What do you think my wife's number one turn on is? The absolute number one thing that gets her going or got her going. We'll just say that. No. Look, in terms of looks, in terms of something that she like latches on to, because that's my guy right there. This will crack you up.
That's my guy. It's either going to be bald-headed or tatted up.
It's actually neither of those. She thinks my tats are insane. She thinks I'm nuts. I just got a brand new one, by the way. She thinks I'm nuts. The bald head she puts up with. But the thing for her is hair. Loves her some long hair.
You're fucking disappointing her then.
You want to talk about like swing and a miss, Kathy. Swing and a miss, right? 516. This is actually a pretty good roll from this side here. 516. No, when I met her, I had hair. I've shown you the pictures, right? I put them on the thing before. I used to have really long hair. Like my hair was down to my belt when I was younger. When I met her, that's how I looked. The hair has since come off because my hair when I was like 30 turned white. Like as white as my beard, that's my hair when I was 30. And I'm like, I'm 30 and I look like I'm 100. So I shaved it.
Look at the color of this hair at 61 years old.
I mean, that sucks. For me.
Look at this hair.
I know.
The hair of a 20-year-old.
My God. I got a good friend of mine. It's a 6'5" young. By the way, you guys are betting at Crapsee. Bet fast because I'm throwing fast. My best friend, Bruce Glenn, in Arizona, is 63 now, and he's got jet black hair, like not 1 ounce of gray. And I'm like, you fucker. Like, really? I went totally white. It is. I went totally white at 30, and I'm like, I can't look like this. I was, I'm out there coaching baseball and, doing all my thing. And I'm like, I can't look like I'm 1,000,000 years old. So I actually I went to like a crew cut. I went, Army, flat top, and I rocked a flat top for a couple of years. And after a while, I'm like, this is stupid. Let me just take it down. And I took it all the way down to where it is right now. And my wife said to me, you look tougher than you've ever looked. That's what she said. Like she said, that was such a tough guy look. She's like, I almost like it as much as the hair. So yeah, it disappoints her from like her original, but if you asked her, gun to her head, who her hall pass is, it's Joe Elliott from
Well,
Def
my
Leppard.
wife's
That's her
hall
guy.
pass would be J.J. Watt.
Okay.
Every
I would
time
do.
she sees him on TV, you get the
Mhm. I would.
you know.
I would do JJ Watt. JJ Watt's a dude, man. That guy. I'm telling you what. You seen the video of him jumping the box jump, the 70-inch box jump? Holy crap! I mean, how is that even possible?
And then the chick from the Tool Time Taylor, Heidi.
Ooh, back to back, hard force. Look at me go. Anthony, by the way, is in chat giving me some shit for not answering. What question did you ask? Did you ask me some? Did I miss one, Anthony? I'm sorry. What did I miss? What is Anthony's question? Is it on? I don't see it. Responded to you in Discord. We'll save my question for
man.
here.
These are all just softball questions, man.
Oh, I got a good one coming up for you, actually. A really good one. Oh, here it is. Wait, no. Oh, there it is. Do you like to dress up in a? Oh my God, really, dude? He says, do you like to dress up in a French maid outfit and get my nether ridge tickled with a duster? No.
Yeah.
None of that crazy shit. None of that crazy shit. We're pretty vanilla. Not doing the dress up role playing thing.
Nope.
Don't do that stuff. I got some funny stories though. You know, we my wife and I, there's a 6, 4, 10. Look at me, 4s and 10s, Ken. If I was playing Ken's favorite way to play,
I've been
right?
playing the one. I've been
What's
playing
that?
Waylon's the one on my practice table, fucking crushing it.
Tell you, the dice will do for you what the dice will do for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we when I met Kathy, I think I've told the story before. When I met Kathy, playing in the band, obviously, we lived in a house that probably 10 of us lived in, and we hopped bedrooms. It was like whatever room was empty that night was where you slept, kind of thing. It was kind of a flop house. So, you know, a lot of things happened in that place in front of a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, just an interesting.
You forget, John. I grew up. I knew Hank Jr. starting at 5 years old. My father played piano with him for 13 years. I grew up in that life. And people that ain't into country music don't realize how big a superstar that guy was in the late 70s and 80s. He's like the Taylor Swift now, but I mean, he was, you know, he was it.
He was the guy.
And,
you know,
I grew up around all that crap.
I'll tell you what, I am not a country guy, as you know, not my favorite kind of music. I'm more, you know, I'm a heavy metal dude, right? Always have been.
Country ain't country anymore.
It's not really, but here's the thing. Oh, another 10. Look at me. Look at this, Ken. Back to back, hard 4s, and then a 6, 4, 10, and a 5, 5, 10. I'm talking about crushing the outside over here.
You're flipping the hell out of those.
Telling you what, man. But I recently have gotten into country. My son's dating a gal who loves country music. I'm loving it only because I am a musician. And so I appreciate people playing actual instruments. I can't get my head around some of the garbage. Oh, look at that, another 4. Oh my God, who's making money? Somebody better be making money in this game over here that we're dealing. But I love watching musicians make actual music, play instruments live. So many people, they play the tracks. There's no musicians actually playing. It's all fake bullcrap. Country guys are legit. It's very legit, and so I'm digging it.
They sing the auto tuners.
Well, and it said there's no band. There's like a record playing behind them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta have live band. You gotta have it. And,
7 out.
you know, the truth of the matter is you're a musician and you're going to agree with me 100%. You look at all the top 10, whether guitar players, drummers, bass guys, whatever. There's guys in Nashville, Tennessee at these little honky-tonk pieces of shit places down there that are better than they are, and they'll never be known.
Yeah. Very true. All right, here we go. I'm switching. I just 7'd out, by the way. I'm switching sides.
All right.
I'm going to switch my camera. I got to make the camera look over here. So give me a second to kind of move the tripod around. So it shows this side of my dirty ass garage. There we go. Okay, you ready for another question, Ken?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm fucking here.
You're going to love this one. Ready for this? This is right up your alley. Now, people don't know this about you, and I do. And I'm going to out you. Is that okay if I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. You have a little bit of experience in the area of religion, do you not?
Yes, I do.
People probably don't know just how much about the Bible you know about.
I'm actually an ordained minister.
That's right.
I've given probably 200 messages behind the pulpit. I've married dozens of people. Yes.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So here's my next question. And this is one that's not coming from the group, it's coming from me personally, because this just happened. Now you watched the Super Bowl, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was an ad during the Super Bowl called He Gets Us. And I've been seeing these He Gets Us ads a lot on just regular TV. They spent a ton of money on this ad for the Super Bowl. He Gets Us. And the ad was, you remember the ad where he's washing people's feet?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to talk to me about that ad. That ad has caused so much controversy and crap. It's unbelievable.
I don't know.
Tell me your thoughts on that ad. I want to know what you think about it. People are really on both sides. On both sides, they're pissed off, and I think it's interesting. Coming out, by the way.
Well, first of all, if you're a spiritual guy, you believe in that stuff, right?
Yep.
You got to understand the symbolism behind what Christ was doing. Okay? There's nothing worse than some man's stinky, nasty, dirty fucking feet. But here was the Lord God Almighty being so humble to wash somebody's feet. It's like, don't think so highly of oneself. Get down to the nasty, do things for people. And if you've ever had your feet washed by somebody else, because think about it, your feet got nasty toenails and the fungus on it, and all that stuff, and you're letting somebody, that's humiliating on one hand and very humbling. And it's
Yep. Oh, don't tell me you locked up on that sentence. Come on. I got to buy Ken some internet. What happened? Shoot. Hold on a second, folks. I'm going to double check here. What is happening? Oh my goodness gracious. What a great, in the middle of the greatest answer of all time, and we're going to lose Ken. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, I'll tell you, I'm going to shoot. Hopefully he'll come back in a minute. That's a great, and I want you all to think in chat, by the way, I want your answers to this question in chat. Okay, this is a really important one to me. that commercial, I was like, how do I say this? I was very proud when I got goosebumps when the commercial came on, because like Ken, I read that commercial for what it meant, what I thought that it meant, and then I went and read all the holy crap about it, like the left and the right, and everybody was going crazy about the commercial itself. There's actually really good arguments that were made by both sides on this thing as to why it was not appropriate. And I want to hopefully Ken will come back and get his thoughts. But yeah, in chat, JR, remain humble, he says, right? Sounds like Ken needs a shower and a nail salon. That's pretty funny. But he's right. The message of that story is that Jesus humbled himself, and he humbled himself to serve, right? And I think when I read the Bible, there's a 325, by the way. When I read the Bible, the overall message that I get, and I think what drives my life, and you probably can figure this out by now, right? 325, by the way. Is that our point? I don't even know where we are. That was the point. I set the point, hit the point. Cool. The message to me that whole thing is about is service, right? The Bible is not about what God's giving to you, although that is part of it, right? It's supposed to inject a spirit of service in you. And, I coach baseball, I coach with FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I do this channel. I teach adults how to change their careers. To me, it's all about service. And not saying that I'm the most wonderful person in the world, but that message has gotten through. And I think living a life of service is, I think, a big part of that message. And I think that that story of Christ washing the feet of his disciples just is the embodiment of what that means. I think it's pretty cool. Come on, Ken, get back on in here. I want to get you back. I want to get you to finish up your thoughts on this thing because there is controversy in this. Oh, look at this, Ron. Ron's participated in foot washing at church, which is insanely humbling. Here's the thing about this, and I guess I may repeat myself if Ken joins us back. The word on this in the book, he washes the feet of his disciples. He's serving his disciples. The thing about that commercial was that the feet that were being washed was everybody's. And I think that's different than the Bible message, right? The Bible message is serving his disciples. The commercial's message was serving everybody. And there's a nuance to that. And I think a lot of Christians got really mad, perhaps with good reason, at that mixed message. Here's a 639, by the way, coming through here. Stick left 1, 639. Point is 8. I'll kind of narrate the Crapsee I go to. Point is 8, 639, come in. There we go. Actually, we're not shooting too bad tonight so far. But yeah, so the Christians got mad because Christ was washing everybody's feet when the message in the Bible was washing his disciples' feet. And I get that was a thing for some people. The other side of the argument, folks got really mad on the left, or the secular crowd, the non-Christians were really mad that they spent whatever it was, how much money that ad cost. Why are they spending so much money on an ad when they should be spending the money in the church, whatever. And I think that the idea there is it's a recruitment ad, right? You're looking at, come on, be a good throw. You're looking at spreading the message and getting people to, there's a 1, 2, 3, crapless, big ass payout right there. You're spreading the word and you're saying, you're getting people fired up to join the church. The target audience there is not Christians. The target audience there is people who are not Christians. And I think that those of us who are believers, our job when seeing that ad is to say, hey, I'm glad that sparked some emotion in you, and let's talk about it. To me, that feels like it's the reason to have a conversation. So here comes Ken. He's back. Ken, you got some of that dime store internet down there, right?
I don't know, man. I got internet about every 15 minutes, and I've got it plugged in directly.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. So, hey, I'm just finishing up.
I wonder if I should just take it off direct and just go with the Wi-Fi.
It shouldn't matter either way. I mean, it's okay as long as you keep getting back in. It's fine. I was preaching a little sermon over here about that ad, and what I was saying when you left off was that the ad gives this impression that Christ is washing everybody's feet. The Bible preaches that he's washing the disciples' feet. A lot of Christians got pissed off because the message was mixed. It's not the true message. I think the point of it is to get us talking about it and to have the non-believers going, if they get mad or whatever, but asking the question. And you coming in, and I want you to finish your thought about how impactful it was to be humbled by washing other people's feet, and weigh that in. Talk to me about like the disciples versus the non-disciples. Like he washes disciples, his followers' feet, serving them, spirit of service, versus just anybody who shows up, right? Like it wasn't a foot washing service, right?
Actually, Christ was a servant.
Mm-hmm.
He teaches servanthood. Okay, so let me do it this way.
7 out.
Men have a favorite passage in the Bible that says, wives, submit to their husbands in all things. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's their favorite passage. But you have to read above it and you have to read below it to get the full context. Okay?
There you go. Yep.
So
Preach.
he goes, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Well, if you're gonna love your wife like that, dude, that is a lot of servanthood. That is a lot of love, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you are that godly person to your wife and you love her like Christ truly loved the church, your wife will have zero problem submitting to your authority. That's the whole idea. It also says, don't think so highly of yourself. Those who think too highly of themselves is a fool. The Bible is loaded with humility, humble, humble, humble. This is just a really good example of forgetting who you are. It ain't about you doing something that lowly to humble yourself for somebody else. And it doesn't have to be feet washing. It
Mm-hmm.
can be a multitude of things. Love
Yeah.
your neighbor. We don't. We hate our neighbors. There's
Man.
here's the thing, and I will say this, we get to another question.
Mm-hmm.
Even if a person doesn't believe in God, Christ, anything like that, if you'll just read the Bible, it's got good stuff in there to live a good life. Even if you don't believe in God, read the Bible. It tells you what to eat, what don't eat. This is good for you. It tells you, hey, man, a quarrelsome wife, you better just go live on top of your roof somewhere because a quarrelsome wife is terrible. It tells you all this stuff. So I could go off on the Bible for your whole 2 hour.
I know you can. I know. Well, I wanted to make sure I asked you this one question because I don't think people knew that you were a minister and can actually preach and bring it. I think that's cool, and I'm glad to hear some of the word from you, man. It's awesome. All right, next question. Ready? We're at position 5, so I have one more here and then one more to go, and this
Yep.
one's going to be a little bit political, just a little bit,
Good.
right? I'm going to make you president for a day. I'm going to have a little drink here. I'm going to get buckled up for your answers. President for a day. All right. Now, you've got the power of the pen. Obviously, the presidents all have the executive order thing, right? But let's pretend that you're not going to be a dictator. Let's pretend that the thing you want to fix, Congress is going to back you up on it. You're going to get the funding for it. It's going to be okay. And the people are going to, they voted you in, so they like what you're saying, right? In that one day, what's the one thing? What's the one issue that I'm only giving you one, that you want to address? And then we're going to talk about how do you address it. I want to know what's your one issue that you need to, as President Ken.
One?
The one issue President Ken's going to fix. You have one day. You got a president for a day. What's the one thing you're going to hammer on? I'm going to come out here with the dice while you think about that.
Shit, there's 100 of them, John.
You got to pick one. Is it going to be the homelessness? Is it going to be the border? Is it going to be social shit? Is it going to be the military? You got to pick it. What's it going to be?
If it's going to be one thing, then it can't be homelessness while the border's the way it is. You've got to secure the United States border.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to stop all this crap coming in because you're going to continue to have homeless, continue to have, there's so many problems from that border.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Texas.
I know you did.
Telling.
I knew you were going to pick this issue from being from Texas. That's why I'm asking you. It's the border.
If I only get one issue, I got a lot of them. I've got my thoughts on abortion. I got my thoughts on all of it. But if you're only giving me one, it's the only thing that I can think of that if you actually clear up this one thing, I mean, make it to where ain't nobody coming over here except legally. I'm all for legal.
Sure.
Okay. I'm all for you coming over here legally. All for it. But all this riffraff, you stop that, it stops so many other problems in the United States.
That's what I wanted to ask you. So that's the follow-up. So if you fix the border, I actually had a job interview last week, right? And the question on my job interview was, it was weird. They asked me, and this is for a computer programming job. They said to me, if we were able to paint a brush and end poverty tomorrow, what would be the impact of that? That was an interview question I had. if you wave your magic brush, Ken, right, and the border gets closed, no more all the bad things coming in. We can list those out in a minute. What is the impact? What's tactically going to happen? What's going to like what will be the change, and what does it lead to if it's fixed?
Well, the immediate thing would be the population of these border towns.
Aces. Aces is the point, by the way.
They
My point is 2. Can you fucking believe this?
Because what are their skills? They come over here, they're sick, and because to follow it, you got to stop giving all these fucking people all the medical, all the here's money a month, here's this. You're giving somebody that's illegal, and let's get that word fucking correct. Illegal. What part of that word does this administration not fucking get? And so you're given illegal, and that means criminals. If you're here illegally, you are a criminal. And you're giving criminals medical care and money and housing. That's the biggest impact. You stop that. Then point B with that is you round them up. If you're here illegally, you didn't go through the system, get the fuck out of here and take them out.
So I can get behind most of that. Yeah, I can get behind most of that. So to me, like if I look at the border and I do my whole separate the fly shit from the pepper thing with it, right? Which I do with almost every. Oh, what a great fucking throw that was. It's a 5.27, but it was beautiful. Is this? I look at like you got Chinese nationals coming in, you got terrorists that are coming in, you got people that are coming, you got guys with the fentanyl, you got the gang members, you got a bunch of garbage, frankly, coming across, right? That's some percentage of this thing, right? Closing it immediately takes all that out of it, right? You stop bringing the badness in. The second piece of that, the pepper part of that, is there are people who are legitimately needing to be here, right? That given a legal means to get in, the families, the moms, the people who are actually oppressed that deserve a better way, I want to make it so they can have a place to be, but I don't want the other stuff too, right? So how do you do it? And I'll leave you with how would President Ken deal with it? Because you can debate the merits of should it be closed or not all day long. How do you do it? Because is it building a glass fence that nobody can scale? Like, what is the answer here?
Just pretend we could do a border that nobody could cross. All right, let's just if we're making shit up.
Well, that's the thing, but that's no, don't make it up. President Ken, how are you making a border that nobody can cross? Because right now it's crossable, and it's so freaking long, right? So how do you actually make it? Like, that's the thing. I look at this problem and I go, what are you going to do? You know?
Any wall that you have, you got to know they're going underneath tunnels. There's some nasty tunnels over there.
Oh, I know it.
And it's only because the United States, there's people in the United States that want them over here, and they've done it. So you've got to, blow the tunnels up. You got to find them, just like Vietnam. You got to go find it, blow them up. Now, next thing you have to do, you have a wall. That's one thing. Now you have to have yardage on the other side. Sorry, this is going to sound nasty, but they're fucking mines with big signs over there that go, fucking mines over here. Do not fucking jump this fence because you will blow up. You got to get nasty. Okay? Now, the biggest thing that you can do is these legal entryways. You've got to have more of them so you can get the legals in quicker. You got to spend the money on that.
Yeah, this is the problem. I think you're right. I think spending money on having more legal points of entry, more people working those things, more ways to process quicker and make those judgments makes it so the legal folks, the folks that have actual business being here, makes it easy. I want to make that process easy. But it takes money to do it. It takes money to get it
because
done,
they're
and that's a good solution
they
actually. I
are
like that.
great, great immigrants.
Hmm.
United States is a melting pot. They came from New York
For
before,
sure.
Ellis Island. They had all that system to be
Yep.
able to do it. So you make it where they can't come in, blow the tunnels up, whatnot, make more entry points so the good people can come in because there's a lot of people down here in Texas that came in legally and they are so pissed off
Hmm.
of the shit they're giving these illegals. They had to take years or whatever they had to do to get it. And they're just giving it to the ones that want to swim over the river and jump the
Yeah.
fence. They're pissed off. And these are Hispanic people that came from there. They just did it right. So
Hmm.
you either got to do it the right way or don't do it.
Yeah. Well, I love that idea of more points of entry, more people processing better. That's the right way. I think constricting it down to one point of entry and it overwhelming a system in certain
No.
spots, you end up with the bleed that you have. I think it's a great solution. All right, last shooter. I'm at the last spot. I want to end with something silly. I need more whiskey before I make something silly. Ready for this? This is my favorite
Sure.
subject. Everybody gets mad at me when I ask these questions. Where's my whiskey? They all get mad at me when I ask this question, but I have to go there because it's my favorite topic in the whole world. Okay, it's aliens. Talk about aliens. And I'm talking about outer space aliens. All right? A, are you a subscriber to the theory that aliens are here and have been here? And B, what is your favorite alien? This comes from a subscriber of ours. What's your favorite alien theory as far as why they would have ever come and are they coming back? And I guess as a religious person too, the follow-up is always this. If you believe in aliens, does that blow the whole Bible up? I don't believe that
think
it does.
so.
But you tell me what you think about aliens while I hear them coming out. Here we go. Coming out
Well,
from the end of the table.
as far as are they on the planet, I don't know. But a rational mind,
Hard 10.
you know, if God created the whole universe, we don't even know how far the universe goes.
Nope.
We've only tapped into probably a nano percentage of really what
Mm-hmm.
space is, right?
Yep.
And here's the way I think. So, and it's not in our Bible, but it could be in somebody else's Bible, right? Like aliens. I do not believe
It's a 5.
for 1
325.
second that the God of all creation created this little bitty planet called
Mm-hmm.
Earth, and that's the only intelligent beings in the whole the cosmos.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually subscribe to intelligent beings out there fucking somewhere. Now, does he allow them to cross over, come to here, da da da? There's a lot of theories on that. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Hard 8.
Because if they're more intelligent than we are, fucking why would you want to come to this puny planet?
Right?
You know? But I do think there's other civilizations out there. I
I,
believe it. I may be
I'm
wrong, but that's just my belief.
I'm 100% on that side. And I believe this. So I read a book. I think I told this story before. I read a book once. I wish I knew the name of this book, Ken. I would give you this book. It's such a good book. Actually, it was written by a senator, believe it or not, about aliens. And what do we have here? Another 8628. And the theory was this, that there was, like you're saying, planets everywhere. I'm going to get back so I can be on camera here. There's planets everywhere. 62 right there. That have people on them. Or some sort of whatever, whatever it is, right? And he was trying to explain how could that be? How could a spiritual, he called it an overlord, but an omnipotent being, God, control all this? And his theory was space, the universe is God. Like like we're all just part of it. And when in this book that I read, people from all these different planets competed in their own little planetary competitions, and the winners got taken almost like resurrected, and they were able to be with God in this book. And what they all discovered was they were actually not meeting God. They realized they were with him the whole time, and that they were part of it. Like the universe and the earth and their earths were all part of this big, giant, omnipresent consciousness. It's just cool, right? Like everything is kind of part of the whole thing. And like, that's actually, to me, kind of a beautiful concept to feel like, yeah, we are here. We're part of this whole thing. And I don't know. I believe
Well,
that we're,
here,
if we had the ability to see other planets, why wouldn't you go? Aren't we just curious anyway? By nature, we're curious, right?
here's the thing. He says, "My ways are higher than your ways. My thoughts are higher than your thoughts." So
Artet.
basically, if I put this in kinism speech,
Mm-hmm.
God is saying, "Look, you ain't gonna fucking figure me out, so stop trying."
I love that.
Right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
He says it in the book. My thoughts are
Mm-hmm.
higher than yours. My ways are higher than you can't comprehend me. So don't try. Okay. And so to all to me, there's only one of two things that's going to happen when you croak. Okay. You're either going to go back to nothingness, which is what you were before you were born. You didn't know of all the wars and
Right.
famines and heartaches, right? You had no conscious thought. You're either going back to that, which you won't even know it anyway because you're dead, or everything that Bible says is true. It's
Mm-hmm.
one or the other, my friend.
Well, I think
So
I've talked to Kathy about this too. It's
going
like,
back going
if
back
it's
to
true though,
intelligence,
you'll never know. Will you ever know? Like the thing is, if you croak, and if it's nothingness, or if your soul becomes part of higher consciousness or heaven or whatever that feels like, you won't know it anyway. Like you consciously won't be able to go, oh, okay, here I am. Like now I get it. I don't think that's how that works.
I do. I think when you get to now, here's what I do know. When people die, okay, you
That's
see
a
them in the
nine, five,
coffin.
four. Mm-hmm.
Everybody talks about, oh, they're with God now and they're dancing on the streets. That's not
Yep. Yep.
true. Because at James and in Romans, it talks about you go into a sleep because there's only one judgment day. He don't judge you. Every person that dies gets judged right there. No, there's one judgment day. Okay. So all the spirits return to God, which gave the spirits, right? We all return to him. But here's the way I look at it. When you fall asleep, nice deep sleep, and you wake up, 8 hours have passed, and it's just like you just went to
Yep.
sleep and you
Yep.
woke up, and 8 hours have passed. I think it's going to be the same way. When you die, your spirit will indeed go with God, but maybe call that the resting spot, whatever you want. And then a million years, 10 million, 20 trillion, I don't,
Horrible.
whatever. Then comes the judgment day, then wabbo. But to you, it'd be instantaneous.
Really, that's an interesting way of looking at that. Interesting. I've always wondered, like, that's the most curious thing to me about all this stuff. And like, somebody asked a question last week of Chris Dice DJ when he was here about do you want to know when you're going to die or not? Right. We were talking about death a little bit last week too, and it's like, you know, I kind of do now. I used to not want to, but I kind of do now. I lost an uncle a few weeks back, and he knew. He was like, I'm done with the treatment. You know, put me down, kind of thing. And everybody got to come, and he got to say goodbye and tell them
He
all his
knew
kids
because
the last thing.
he knew
Yes,
because he was forced to know.
exactly. But there's such a peacefulness to like being able to say your piece, right?
One, yeah,
Whereas,
yeah.
y-
There's a lot of people that my mom. There's older people that died. They're tired of the pain. They're tired, and they're just
mhm,
ready.
yep,
Okay, but for me to go, okay, John, you want to know? You get in a car crash tomorrow and you're dead. How's that? You want to know it?
mm.
Not me.
I don't want. Well, my answer was I want to know. I don't want to know how. And my, my biggest thing. And this is so selfish. I don't want it to fucking hurt. Like, I don't care if I'm gonna go down. I don't want to suck. Like when I had my heart attack and I died, I didn't know it. And to your point, I left my house. I played in the hockey game. I had a heart attack and I died. And I woke up 3 days later and didn't know it. I'm like, hey, how y'all doing? I had no idea that it even happened. Right.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting story. And I think that's the way it ought to be. But I don't know, man.
I think that's the way it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because of the one judgment, and you're going to be on one side or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to think there's two things that can be true at the same time. So you got the scientists talking about the Big Bang theory, right?
Yep.
Evolution, the Big Bang. Well, first of all, you could go, okay, where did the planets come from that collided? You can back them so far
Sure.
up that then it's God, okay, or an intelligent being. So why couldn't this intelligent being, if that's how he wanted to start the universe, why couldn't he have made that happen? So both things are true.
Mm-hmm. I love the fact that it's all unknowable. And like my wife, I'll leave you with this. I just stepping down. My wife says this all the time. Her mom passed away a couple years back. My dad passed away over the summer. And she says this to me, and I think it's interesting. She says they're lucky. And I'm like, how are they lucky? She goes, well, they know. Like they get to know. I think that's kind of cool, right? Like they know. It's a freeing thing to be able to say that. I think Ken might have locked up again. I'm going to put Darcy Fulton's comment up here, which is great. I've heard this before said like, when I die, I want to die in my sleep like my grandfather did, not screaming in fear like the passengers of his car. That's a great way to put that. All right, guys. Ken has locked up once again, but he left us with a great point. And I think we had a couple of weird twists and turns tonight, but I think my takeaway from this show tonight was Ken. I knew this already. Very spiritual guy. Ken's where it's at. Ken's a good dude. He's more than the person you know from his channel. He's a pretty deep thinker. He can be off the cuff a little bit, which I think is great. And I just love my time with him. He's one of my favorite people to talk to. We talk about religion on the phone a few times. It's refreshing to get a different side of a person that you think you knew. For the people who put in chat, why are we doing a show that's not about gambling? Why do I not take gambling questions? Tonight's a good reason why, right? You don't have to love the politics talk or love the religion talk or anything else. The point of this is to go around the table, shoot some dice, but really just kind of bullshit and talk a little bit and like get some different perspectives from people that you know but don't really know. So I enjoy this a lot. Hope that you do too. That's it. I think we're good. I think we are going to close it here for tonight. Ken's obviously his internet connection died again, so we're going to go ahead and stop the show here. But before I do, I'm going to go through some chats and make sure anything I've missed. Let's see. Arcades. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Sure. When shows get on religion, it can be one time. And of course, there's no differing views allowed or ridicule, or not ridiculing differing views, but there's nobody else here, just us two talking about it, right? So I don't mean to like kind of go off on a religious thing, but I know that Ken is a minister. And I thought a couple of questions that would kind of lean into his strengths would be kind of fun for us to talk about. I think that's why I wanted to queue up a couple of questions for him in that regard, because I know he's got some deep thoughts on it. So I like that a little bit. I know there's not room for a lot of other people to be here with us, but it's a one-person show. And by the way, I'm going to put you back up here. I know you're talking to somebody else, but and Skill also has a thing with, and Skill and Luck's going to be with me soon too. I would love it if you would join me on the show. Like you and I, Arcades, have never met. I know you're talking to somebody else here. We've never met. I've never met Anthony or Darcy Fulton or anybody else. This is a great venue for me to shoot dice, have a couple of sips of whiskey, and talk to you, and just get into some interesting topics that kind of transcend gambling, right? That's the whole point of the show. is to pretend that we're at a table. So if you want to join in, you have a way to contact me. You all have my Discord. You all have my email address. It's john@procraps.net. If you want to join in and be part of this, it doesn't have to be me and a YouTuber. It can be me and you. And I think I try to make this as a one-on-one welcoming time as I can, and just spend time with you. So if you want to be a part of it, please write to me, and let's have everybody be a part of this. I think this would be such a fun show. The more subscribers that join in with me than just being YouTubers. I would love to have you on here. And like my friend Ian Olson, who's not a YouTuber, but he's a good friend, I'm going to have him on at some point. I'll have Jen on at some point. People that we just need to know more about. You know what I mean? And these same religion questions, the same politics questions will go in different directions. And that's how we're going to get the different voices in. We'll get those voices in through different guests answering some of the same questions in their way. And I'll make all the space that I can to have them answer. Okay? So with that said, I hope you like the show. Write me a note. Let me know what you really think of it and how I can make this better each week. I know we have some technical glitches tonight. It's fine. But we'll do our best to keep improving. If you like it, I'll keep doing it. If we don't like it, we'll stop it. But I think it's fun. And with that said, we have 13, 19 people watching, I guess. Go back and watch Jeff and Ed and those guys. They're probably still playing. I'll stop our show here. We can jump in and watch them. We can go in their chats and say hello and hopefully tell them we had a good time. So with that said, God bless everybody. I'll see you tomorrow morning for some live daily paycheck and coffee run craps. In the meantime, see y'all later.